Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today I am looking at a Banter deck. So this is a Bant creature counters deck, I would call it, which used to be something I tried a little bit before Dominaria came out, but now it's actually definitely more of a viable deck than it was before. I think, so basically I've played a lot of this in Best of 1, I then switched to playing Best of 3 with it, because I thought, you know, as a deck it's pretty resilient to most strategies, and I have created a sideboard for this as well, which I'll go through in a second, but just to run through the core deck for now. The deck is built around Brokers Ascendancy and Wedding Announcement, so these are both 3 costing enchantments. Wedding Announcement, everyone should know what it does. It basically spits us out tokens until it flips, and then it becomes an Anthem effect, Anthem being +1/+1, or we draw cards and it becomes an Anthem effect depending on whether we've got creatures down or not. Brokers Ascendancy, at the beginning of your end of step, put a 1/1 on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. So we have lots of creatures and lots of planeswalkers. The planeswalkers we are running are Wandering Emperor, Ajani, Elspeth and Tamiyo. I'll just talk about Ajani because the others are probably quite well known to you, but I'll explain why we've included them. So, Ajani is a 4-costing legendary completed planeswalker, so we can pay 3 and 2 life for it instead, and it will come in with 2 loyalty counters. Reveal the top +1 is reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature or planeswalker, put it into your hand, otherwise you put it on the bottom. So most of our deck is creatures and planeswalkers. We do have 6 and 9 enchantments. Everything else is a creature or planeswalker. And 2 Fateful Absence. But creatures plus planeswalkers comes to 24. So we've got, over a third of our deck. So it's not a huge hit, but it does basically give us a scry if it's not a draw. So it's a pretty useful ability. But for a +1, it's a little bit weak. It also has a -3 of distribute 3 1/1 counters among up to 3 target creatures. They gain vigilance until end of turn. This is obviously a pretty powerful ability because being able to give 3 things vigilance and put more 1/1s around when we're already putting loads out due to our Broker's Ascendancy is nice. It also has a -6. You get an emblem with whenever you cast a creature or planeswalker spell, target opponent gets 2 poison counters. I do not expect this to be particularly relevant, except in maybe a very grindy game where we've managed to get Ajani as our only planeswalker out that's had loyalty counters added by Broker's Ascendancy, and then we start finding all of our creatures or something weird like that. Don't find that to be particularly relevant. Ajani is probably our weakest planeswalker, but because he's new, we're trying him out. 2 Wandering Emperor, it's great, it removes stuff. I mean, in this deck it's basically perfect synergy, because it has +1/+1 counters on target creature. We've got lots of counters going on and buffs. -2 to create a new creature. Obviously new creatures means more creatures to put counters on, and then obviously removal. Elspeth is actually really, really nice in this deck as well. Her +1 can put more counters on and give things flying, first strike, lifelink or vigilance, which, you know, can help get our creatures through. So we can, for example, put flying on Adeline and hit them for a load of damage. We could put lifelink on the Guardian of New Benalia because they struggle to remove it, then enlist something, whack them for loads and gain loads of life back. It's got lots of little synergies in the deck like that. But really, its -3 is very useful in this deck as well, because we can look at anything for 3 mana cost or less and put it onto the battlefield. That is a lot of our deck, but it also is our powerhouses. It's our Broker's Ascendancy and it's our Wedding Announcement. So being able to pull those out with Elspeth is really nice. Also, they get a shield counter on, which could be relevant if a opponent plays something like Titan of Industry and tries to destroy them. They won't be able to. So that also could be relevant. Tamiyo Compleated Sage is basically a bit of a long lost planeswalker. It was our first completed planeswalker, so it can be played for, it's a 5 cost for 5 loyalty or a 4 cost and 2 life for 3 loyalty. +1, tap 1 artifact or creature it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step is a fine ability. It's not great, but it can get rid of a big threat if the opponent's trying to play one big thing. The real reason we've got this planeswalker in the deck is for its -X ability. Exile target non-land permanent with mana value X from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of that card. The only things that we can't create copies of when Tamiyo comes in are Elspeth and Sanctuary Warden. Everything else we can create tokens of. So that includes the Weatherseed Treaty, which can pull us out additional lands. It includes Wedding Announcement, Brokers Ascendancy. We can even pull back in the Wandering Emperor and exile something. So this sort of has a removal itself almost if we have a Wandering Emperor in the graveyard. And it could also pull out our creatures to then put more counters on them again. So it gives our deck a bit more sustainability against board wipes, a bit of recursion, and seems to be a pretty high performer in my testing so far. 2 Sanctuary Warden, it spits creatures out and it has counters on it. It kind of synergistic of the deck. It's a nice top end. Whether we need a good top end or not is up for debate, but I'm playing it with one at the moment. The creatures we are running are Resolute Reinforcements. This is a new card and one of the things that helps the deck be viable. So it's a 2 costing 1/1 that pulls another 1/1. It creates another 1/1 when it comes in, and it has flash. So we can safely put 2 creatures onto the battlefield unless we get countered during our opponent's turn, which is unlikely. That can then immediately have counters put on them with Brokers Ascendancy. So we could, in theory, by the end of turn 3, have 2 2/2s that are growing every turn with an Ascendancy down. It's a very, very nice place to be in. It's what this deck was missing. For Gala Greeters, as we tend to have lots of creatures coming onto the battlefield, things like Resolute Reinforcement, things like Tamiyo pulling them back in, things like Wandering Emperor creating tokens, things like Sanctuary Warden creating more creatures, etc, etc, etc. Wedding Announcement creates creatures, so this is going to hopefully trigger at least once, and often more than that, forcing the opponent to remove this early on. Anything that I would say the opponent has to remove when you play it, which is pretty much what Gala Greeters is in this deck, is good. If we do manage to get Gala Greeters down and then Wedding Announcement, which creates us a token, this can create a treasure and we can ramp straight into Elspeth or Tamiyo the following turn, which is a pretty nasty turn 4 play the opponents have to deal with. We are running 3 Guardian of New Benalia. I would run 4 of these, but I only have 3 at the moment, and I'm not willing to waste my last remaining rare wildcard on creating more of them. But they are extremely good. The more I play with this, the more I like it. So Guardian of New Benalia is 1 and a white for a 2/2 human soldier with Enlist. Enlist being, as this attacks, we can tap a creature that is not attacking and does not have summoning sickness and add the power to this. When it enlists, Scry 2. Now Scry 2 is actually really good for filtering through your deck and finding what you want, especially when we've got certain powerhouse enchantments that we're looking for. I think that is a really nice ability. But obviously the sort of main benefit of this card is that it has discard a card and it gains indestructible until end of turn. So having a potentially indestructible creature that we can put counters on is nice. So if we can build this up with counters and they can't remove it, or they're worried about removing it because they think we might discard a card, I mean, it works better as a prevention than a cure, to be honest. Yeah, this is a really nice card for this deck as well. So these two are kind of making Broker's Ascendancy a bit more viable in my eyes. 1 Adeline, everyone knows what this does. And then 2 King Darien, the 48th. I tested my Roman numerals there. King Darien the 48th is a legendary human soldier for 3. It's a 2/3. Other creatures you control get +1/+1, so it has that anthem effect that we like because we've got lots of creatures around. It also has pay 5 and put a 1/1 counter on it and create another one. That's not going to come up loads, but you never know. And it also has sacrifice him and creature tokens you control again, hexproof and indestructible. I guess if we had lots of tokens around from Wedding Announcement, Sanctuary Warden, reinforcements, maybe that would be useful. But mostly, as soon as we sack him, our tokens are getting smaller anyway, so it's not necessarily a great effect. I mean, it's okay. Let's see. I am running 2 of the Weatherseed Treaty, so this is one of my questionable inclusions in the deck, but the reason that I played with this originally is because A, it ramps me from turn 3 to 5, we've got some good turn 5 planeswalkers we want. It creates a token, which is really nice against these black decks. That little Saproling can be the thing that we sack to Liliana, that we sack to Invoke Despair, and also it gives us then the domain to push through a load of damage with one of our creatures. So it seems to fit quite well against black. That's really why we're playing it. I don't think I'd be playing it in this deck if we weren't playing it against mono black 40% of the time. But since we are playing this. It also can be a very sneaky +5/+5 and trample for a creature. If we just read ahead to turn 3 and then we flash it back with Tamiyo, you know, that can be a plus. In theory, it could be a +10/+10 and trample to any creature. Yeah, it's a little like sort of sneaky combat trick almost that we can play in the deck. And then 2 Fateful Absence just for a bit of additional removal on top of the Wandering Emperor. We don't have tons of removal in this deck. We're more of a snowball ourselves and hope to take over the game. The only other thing I was going to mention about the deck is I'm running 1 Rafine's Tower and 1 Jetmir's Garden, a very slight divergence in our mana, just so that we can utilise the domain of the Weatherseed Treaty potentially. a little more. Whether that's a good trade-off or not, I'm still not 100% sure. Still messing about with mana bases. So that is the deck. Today, as I said, I'm going to show you best of 3 games rather than best of 1, so a slight mix up for my channel. I do often play best of 1, as people know, and as we're playing best of 3, my sideboard becomes relevant. The sideboard I won't run through in too much detail, but basically we have answers to both spellcasting decks, things that play enchantments, as Selesnya Enchantments is coming back a lot, and then decks that rely on their graveyards, and then giving ourselves more recursion against heavy destroyer black decks. So that's basically what I'm catering for with my sideboard. Feel free to have a look through in the deck list. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the games. Okay, here we go. Crab attack. So I have played with this deck a few times before today, so let's see if it can live up to how it did for me. This looks pretty convincing. I love starting with the Guardian of New Benalia, especially on the draw, because you won't be able to put something down that's going to stick on the board. Underdog, yeah. Obviously on the draw we're not really going to be blocking, just because if we block this and then we discard for Indestructible and they've got a combat trick and we have to discard again, it's pretty grim. I'd rather force them to remove it at all if they're going to. The thing is, people might not know that we wouldn't be blocking, so they might not attack, but given underdog's pretty disposable, maybe they will. They could still have cut down, sadly, if they'd spent all their mana ahead of time. So I think, do we put Darien in? We'll make my Guardian a 3/3, but maybe... do we Ascendancy instead? Yeah, I think so. So then we can make the Guardian a 3/3. Which means it can't be killed by Harvester. But then they could have, that would have been a 3/3. It's just a bit weaker when you're doing it with a creature than an enchantment. Feels more permanent. Threw away a Strangle, even though we've got a 3 toughness creature. That is the power of the discard effect. Sadly, Liliana I can't cope with.
This fight finished before brunch.
C'est la vie.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
More just rubbish land. Okay, now we'll have to play this out. At least we have a good blocker now. Just got to hope for no more Lilianas, or that's fine. Got plenty of land to throw away. Threw away another Strangle. Yikes. Something we struggle to deal with. So I think we put this in and minus. We're not immediately dying.
I'm not looking for trouble, but I'll feel safe now.
So we've got a choice between Wedding Announcement and Reinforcements. Wedding Announcement will get us a token. Reinforcements just gets us 2 creatures to block with in case they go ham. I mean, they could minus Liliana, kill off the token, swing with everything, including Shieldred. We might be chumping by that point, so I think it has to be the Reinforcement, sadly. 2 creatures to put 1/1s on anyway, better than 1. Next turn, if they don't kill Liliana, we can give something flying. Okay, that's slightly annoying. Still get something flying.
Don't overthink things.
Yeah. Probably give this flying because it's got a shield counter.
for me now, runt.
We'll decline that, I think.
Go ahead. Plead for mercy.
So we have to kill Liliana, really. The problem is I need to gain some life, so I kind of need to give something flying. I also kind of need to give something lifelink. So I could give Darien lifelink and attack, and then they can trade shouldered, which isn't a bad position for us to be. We'll be on 10 life. Or they can just chump, which is also fine. We're going to lose a bunch next time. I won't play the island, so we've got something to discard. Although if they do Liliana first, we won't have anything to discard anyway. Let's see if they want to trade shoulder. I think we're going to die if we don't play this. Maybe we attack the Obnixless rather than Liliana. Sacking a creature isn't actually the end of the world for us. Yeah, I thought they might chump. Just keeps us alive quite a bit longer. At least our creatures are all going to be 5/5, so they won't have good attacks. I'm going to have to play this anyway. They're going to Liliana. I guess they might Liliana minus, so could save me life, and it's not got a real good game for us. Opponent has to be careful. Oh, we ultimate at Elspeth, and then it looks nice for us. Let's see what they do. If they plus an Obnixless first, I'll just discard the land, no problem.
Pleasure doing.
Obviously we have to take 2, but if I'm able to keep Darien alive and give it flying,
Punishment is my entertainment.
then we're easily gaining back life. So did minus Liliana. Table, not the end of the world for us.
Show him what you got.
Let's give this flying. Kill that.
Don't think you're some big hero.
They need some flat destroy for Darien now, or it's going to be very hard to deal with. I.e. they need grasp. Another underdog in the bin is nice for them. Yeah, I mean we have to deal with that massive life total at some point, but sad they didn't Obnixless first this time. Learned their lesson. Yep, 2 damage.
Or carnage. Tribute is owed.
Yeah. Flashing an underdog. They want to get Elspeth below 9, I think. No. Interesting attack with everything. We can kill this without our reinforcements dying. They don't gain the life back for underdog either. And we get another swing with Darien, which is nice. We could ultimate this. End up with 5/5/5 angels, which stay nowhere near meat hooking. Or we could put lifelink on the reinforcements. No, we'll be on 13. We're not going to die.
Never forget that angels built this city, not demons.
Kill Liliana and Obnixless, shall we? I stand corrected. 6/6 angels there'll be.
With friends.
This is some late game power, eh? Okay, game 1 in the bag. So what are we dealing with? Sheoldred, Planeswalkers. That's what we know about. And Fable. Probably Invoke Despair. So we'll take this for Sheoldred. Not really dealing with enchantments. but maybe negate. Although they haven't proven they've got Invoke Despair, we just think so. Although negate does work. I mean, Liliana, yeah, okay, we'll take 2. We'll ditch one of these. We'll keep this because it's nice against black. That's nice against black. Ditch one more of those and one of these. Although this is nice against black, isn't it? I'll just ditch this maybe. Take out the top end if in doubt. Let's go like that. Absence is nice because it deals with planeswalkers. Can't keep one land, unfortunately. Can't keep one land, unfortunately. 3 lands. Right, yeah. So probably have to put this and this. No, maybe that. No. Bit of a shit show having to manage it like that. Okay, I'll play the other one of these out now. Can't Fateful Absence for a turn, but get this down. Unfortunately, they're going to be attacking with their Fable token. Not a lot I can do about that. If they attack and then put a land and play Invoke Despair, it's pretty much done for us, isn't it? But which is a viable line that could happen. I don't know. Squeam. I don't think we'll block that. If we play this forest, we'll be able to Wandering Emperor next turn. Take out Squid. Or maybe I should do it this turn. Oh no, we'll just hold, I think. Got a negate as well. A gate could have this combo. 1 negate, 1 absence. If they do that before attacking. An extra 1/1 is probably not worth the surprise. Okay. So I'll probably absence the Harvester. Or do we exile the Squee? I think if they've got enough mana for Invoke Despair. Let's just absence this. Block that. Although we don't block it, because next turn we're anything for 6. No block. Let's hope they try and Invoke Despair and I was right. No, but they have Fabled, which it's nice to be able to negate. Pretty rough, but not a lot I could do about that anyway. Another negate. Obviously no attack. Yeah, unfortunately the Glutton flips. Nothing I could do about that. Nothing important in graveyard anyway. So we'll probably have to chump that one. So if they exile creatures out of their own graveyard, so will they still have enough flashback squeeze? The question. So I could get rid of the main Glutton. I think we'll have to do this. So we'll exile this rather than Squee, because I can't really, they've not got enough to flush it back anyway. Go like this. Puts us on 9, so if we block like this, 1, 2, 3, so we've taken 7, probably have to block this, won't we? It did its job, but I don't know what we can draw off the top to come back from this, to be honest. I'd say nothing now. going to grind us into the floor. Okay, as the double mulligan at the start, I'd say. The negate actually worked pretty well. Kind of want to get the greeters back in a bit, just because it's nice to gain the life of the creatures, but Ajani could be a bit slow against this deck. Let's take one out. Tamiyo is a good recursion, stance that. Could take one of these out, trade it back in. I'm thinking a sentinel, remove targets for them in the graveyard, although they're not really reanimating. Maybe this for more recursion. Let's try it like that. I'm probably just making my deck worse with the sideboarding, but it's a slightly unusual form of Rakdos. Just need to not get unlucky with that. Oh my god. Can't play double blue. 5 lands. And a planeswalker. Pretty rough. Oh my god. I'm not going to be able to do anything until whenever. The end of time. At least we're on the play. This is looking slightly better now. Get rid of that. We don't want to take damage unless we have to. They had a land anyway. And trespasser. Okay. Fine, we'll let it flip. Exile your own thing at your own graveyard. Nope. Okay. Put Emperor this and discard, I think, the negate.
The energy of battle, then guided like water.
The fewer creatures we put in the graveyard, the better. I mean, obviously, putting this in the graveyard with Tamiyo is good, but they could just have another trespasser now. Shoulder, okay. Let's put Tamiyo in and start getting plussed. Plus this.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
What? They must have another one in their hand.
You don't stand with me. You're my enemy. Go sow some chaos.
No, thank you.
Plead for mercy.
Okay, they're down to 1 in hand as well now. We're not too far behind. That is a pretty decent card for us to pull. I think we'll play this in our turn so they become 2/2, shall we? Yeah. In fact, we'll put in a samurai as well.
We must protect.
I don't know if they're running meat hook, but if they're not, it's gonna get big quickly. If they are running meat hook, they have to meat hook all their own stuff, so. Ooh, gonna give us the minus on Tamiyo, maybe.
Your punishment is shake down the locals.
Although we are going to lose life quick to shoulder if we do that. Let's get back Emperor. That's the first thing.
History belongs to Phyrexia.
Exile that.
I'm home.
Gain a little bit of life.
Well done.
We'll hold on to this, shall we? See, once we get this down, if we can keep any kind of presence, it starts to look better for us.
Go ahead.
No, I'll decline for now.
Plead for mercy.
Decline for
Your
now.
punishment is
Fable.
my
Okay, good job we held on to this here. Just get rid of that now before it becomes an issue for us. So we can... The Emperor doesn't have a... Oh, it does have a minus, but it will die. So I think we will plus the Emperor, attack with this, force them to block for something, and tap Shoulder it down. So we can give that first strike.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Tap Sheldred, then we can exile it next turn with our Emperor.
Bow before Phyrexia.
Just attack with the 1. I don't know why you're specifically tapping red. Cut down's not doing anything for you here. I wonder if they'll see what I'm doing and do the 1 damage to the Emperor. Probably. No, to face. Okay. And then double Ascendancy. Even Meat Hook's not getting them out of the creature situation now, right? Might get one. Get 2 of them, sorry, but not the other one. So we've got to take 2 more damage off Shouldered. So 6 damage we're taking for sure. Ooh. I don't know if there's any creatures in graveyards for them to... Yeah, there are 2 in there. Sugar. We're going to be on 1.
Defy me.
Are there any more?
And you'll lose everything.
No, not yet.
Your punishment is my entertainment.
If they attack with the state of 1, they probably still can, but
My judgment is
is there anything I can bring back from here that helps me? No, I keep this in hand. I could draw. I could get the notebook and draw. I think we'll do that. And if it's not very good, we'll just hold it to discard.
Every story leads to the rise of Phyrexia.
It's not very good, so we discard it. This one's going to be on 3 loyalty anyway. Got nothing to get back right now. So, if they don't have destroy, I can attack with 2 of my creatures. Because one's got vigilance, but I'm not brave enough. If I attack and this is a Shouldered, they just block and then kill me. But we're through 2 Shouldereds already and the top 16, so I suppose they can dig a little bit if they know that's what they need. They've actually missed lethal already. Oh no, that isn't a good sign, is it? Oh no. Please don't have a Shouldered. Tap it, touching their blood like they might not have a Shouldered. Cut down, okay. Come on, King Charles, save me from any of that. So the other thing they obviously could be doing is discarding creatures to then exile with this, but
Defy me, and you'll lose everything.
okay, that doesn't immediately kill us, and nor does that. So we can draw. We'll have a look what's under here before we make our decisions. More land. Okay, so what we should do is tap a creature down and then exile it. That can't be the Trespasser because we need 2 things to discard. Still nothing good in here to bring back. So let's tap the Sleeper because that's the worst thing for us at the moment. And exile, gain a little bit of life.
This is what you
And then
get
we'll swing
for
with this. We
hurting
don't need to swing with any more for now. We're gaining so many cards that eventually we're going to break through if they don't get there first. Got a small buffer in my life total at the moment because I'm happy to discard all this land.
Pleasure doing
But this is going to get to 7 this turn.
my coin or carnage. Tribute is
Now obviously we can tap down blockers and we've got plenty of attackers. That wasn't a creature. That is a creature. That land is not helpful. Oh my god. So let's tap Squee and exile it. Wait, hold on. So if I tap something, I'm going to have to attack with all 3. That will leave me with only 1 blocker. But I'll have an extra 2 life. So let's just remove the... but to be fair, one of these will be dead, so we'll only need 1 thing to discard. So we can remove the most dangerous thing, which is this.
Our will cannot be
Oh
denied.
shit, I need an extra... I didn't think that through.
I am almost sad.
So we have to attack like this. They just won't block. I'm going to take 2, puts us on 4. We're going to go to 1 if they draw nothing good. I've just drawn so much land off the top. Put it all in the graveyard. No! All I needed to do was stop drawing fucking land. That is awful. Oh my god. We should never have lost this game. That was so bad. Okay, we just about managed to calm down after that last one. That was harsh. That was so harsh. 4 lands in a row at the end. This is, look at, this is exactly the kind of hand that we should be getting delivered with this deck. A beautiful, beautiful hand like this. Now we actually have a chance against the mono black. Tide or Rakdos Tide. Can't stop them discarding that way. Wonder if they'll take the Ascendancy or Announcement. We'll be playing whatever they don't get rid of, so be interesting to see. I would take the Announcement if it was me. So you are likely running some Liliana's and other sack-related effects, and that is going to give me tokens to sack. So if you're running Liliana or Invoke Despair, I would say this is the better thing to take. Although we do have this as well, I suppose. Pretty good with it's quite a cynical deck from our opponents so far. I was wondering whether to hold on to that for the land types or not, but I don't think we need to worry. We'll have 4 2/2s at the end of next turn. Surprised that wasn't a shoulder edit, to be honest. Do we ever have a game where the opponent does not run Trespasser? No attacks. Now we've got an army, but if they've got a meat hook, we're very, very sad. That I'm less sad about. I mean, this goes, but otherwise it's just life cards for them, so. God, we're getting the land spam again. At least I can attack with this. We can scry and try and avoid some more of this bullshit. We'll just hold on to our lands, I think. We're not gaining anything by playing those. Hopefully we can avoid any more Invoke Despairs for at least a short while. I'm not being forced to sack anything good, it's just that it gives them such a card advantage. Well, card and life advantage. Okay, good luck with that. I think I might have played it, if I had anything. The only thing you could find would be an Emperor, and I'd have played it on in response. Alright, let's get this Ascendancy down. You can't kill my Guardian in response, that doesn't work either. I'm holding on to this stream of cards for that very situation. What are you thinking about? You don't have a counter. Force me to tap the Guardian. That is probably worthwhile. It saves me enlisting, I suppose. But now it can enlist for more. It can't be cut down anymore. So you're going to need better removal. Even if we just get a turn out of... Yeah, I was about to say, we're only going to get a turn out of it. It was worth having that. I mean, come on. The only enchantment removal, and they've got 2 in the top 16 again. It's unstoppable when you run into just waves of that shit. Okay, we will attack with this. Enlist. Enlist that. Like this, I think is good. And then I'll put this in. Could have put it in before, but they just blocked the 1/1 with the Trespasser anyway. They've got a turn to try and kill the Guardian, but there's now a more pressing threat, so they're probably less bothered. I'd expect a minus of Soaring. No.
It's necessary.
I'm surprised.
Nothing on Innistrad is free.
Having a 2/3 blocker for these tokens is like it almost makes it a negative as having them. So we're just going to attack with everything, aren't we? Apart from one thing which we're going to enlist with. See what else we can find that we want to play. Ajani, we'll have that. God, this scrying is very nice, isn't it? So we're getting in for pretty high damage. They have to block. Do they choose to chump? Yeah, we'll flash this in then. There's only one card that could be removal, so give it first strike.
But I'm going to end.
Pretty nice combo there.
I have got new moves to teach you.
And we're getting in for a lot. I was worried for a minute that if I'd have made an extra creature that would have been lethal, but no, it didn't miss lethal. Not quite. Still plussing Soaring. Guess looking for a meat hook now.
Dire times call for dire tactics.
Meat hook will go home now. But if you play a Soaring, you're not going to have the mana for meat hook. Sorry. You can meat hook a lot of it, but not the bad stuff. Good game. They've got a lot of land this time, but they've gone through a lot of cards. Alright, that's a good game one, but we had a good game one last time. So we're against Invoke Despairs, so we're definitely going to take our negates. We're against Destroy. I reckon these. Take one of those out. And those. Ooh. Probably remove this. One of these. One of these. One of these. Like that. My goal this game is to not get Invoke Despaired. Have designed the deck so that it's not too bad if you do get. This is a nice hand as well. Got the same double enchantment going on. They're not going to want to see the Guardian, I tell you. They can throw it away. I would most definitely throw the Guardian of New Benalia away after what it did to me last game. And it's my only turn to play. This isn't even a choice. I guess they could have Liliana. The only thing that tells me is that they have Liliana. So we will not play the Guardian either. Now they're like, what? Yeah.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit when we win.
Discard one of these wedding announcements,
We
I
all
think.
have things we'd rather.
Gosh, got more of them. Yeah, we can draw with this.
The wrong
Didn't get a
necromancer.
land, but now if they minus Lily, she dies, so they'll probably plus it again. Probably discard the Guardian, oddly
Don't
enough.
think things.
We can get it back cheaply with Tamiyo. Well, more cheaply than getting the enchantments back, and we can afford to play one of the two next turn.
Violence is
They've learned. So we can cast this for 3, but then we can't do the -3. So should we? We'll get the other wedding announcement going. It's a little slower, bit of a slower uptake than Ascendancy. So although could be playing into meat hook a little bit. Should have probably played the Ascendancy there in hindsight. Whereas Tamiyo, if we could play for 4, we could tap this thing down, which would be nice. If forced to discard, I think we'll discard Ajani. As Tamiyo is a better 4-drop for us.
I'm tired
Yeah,
of your secrets.
forcing himself to discard as well. Yeah, having to throw away good removal now. That actually targets Planeswalkers, so I'm surprised. At least we've got plenty of enchantments to sack to invoke Despair. Do we want to give them life and kill off Soaring? I think we do. 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 I Probably. They could have a instant, but let's see. We will smoke through with our 1/1s and see. They have got a removal. At least it's down. I can't mine this again. And we're drawing. Ah, we found our land. There we go. Another Liliana, so they'll probably minus this one.
Know my secrets very well.
Yep. We'll be getting another creature next turn then at least. Invoke Despair. Get rid of this. Got no creatures anyway. It's a vicious card. Really vicious. So we could Gala Greeters and Fateful Absence here. Absence the Soaring. And then we'll get one trigger off the Greeters.
Without me, we're all doomed.
Create a treasure, I think. And we'll start 1/1 in Gala Greeters next turn. So minus, put another one in minus again, maybe.
Waste of my
Yeah, looks like that's what's happening. Guess we've removed their draw.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
Ah, one of your friends has to
Piles of
leave.
Liliana. So if we put this in for 5 and -3, they'll kill it with that. So we could -2 and bring back our reinforcements, which will then grow. Although we could -3 actually, because we've got Ascendancy. Put another counter on it. So
Go. Share the story of
-3,
Phyrexia.
pull back
We
in a
are
wedding
past.
announcement.
We are future.
And we've got a stream of creatures for them to have to deal with, and all they can make us discard is a headquarters. They've got their own draw in place now though, which is concerning if they've got a Invoke Despair in hand. That's quite annoying. If they can get rid of the reinforcements, that would be smart. They're not sure what to get rid of. Still not sure. Wedding announcement. Interesting. Because they saw that we took that last time, I suppose. I was hoping they would use their clue before they plus Liliana. That would be funny. I guess we'll be keeping their flyer tapped down for a short while now. So we can tap this. Bankbusters tap this down, so I'll attack.
You do not write this
They can
story.
choose if they lose Liliana or their Trespasser. Not a nice choice. Guess that's a good thing. See if you draw another Liliana first. I would expect no block. Okay. Because they know we can get stuff back from our graveyard, that's why I would have guessed no block. Right, as I'll play it, as it's a Liliana. It's a very tight one again. It always is tight against these black decks, there's so much value. The Bankbusters as well. Let's look how many cards they've seen. We've seen lots, and they're on 39. I mean, they've seen more than we have. More Bankbusters for the infinite mana generated by Soaring. And what I'm not seeing here is meat hooks, weirdly. Against this deck, I would have expected meat hooks. well-timed meet that could win them the game. Must be another one on the way then. That's a nice draw. A bit more recursive value for us. Keep this tapped for now, I think. There's no sticking. Ooh, yeah, we've got a warden in there.
You cannot delay our victory.
This is looking pretty nasty, isn't it? This setup. They need a hook, really. Lots of removal required to get rid of all this otherwise. The Paragon especially. Nasty. They could hook it for 6. Yeah, they've got one. The nice thing is we've got so much recursion here that we can actually use Tamiyo to get Paragon back. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing.
Years of this story still turn. The past contains the blueprints of the future.
Oh, how have I clicked the wrong thing? Oh my god, what a moron. I cannot believe I just clicked the wrong thing. We literally could recur this for life going here. What a dickhead. I mean, this thing is no bad thing, but like, what? Can't believe I did that. Could cost me the game. Another meat hook. Yeah. Oh my god. What a moron. Honestly. They've just got so much draw here. Only one left after this turn, I suppose. Okay. Play both of them. Since they both get token counters on, I mean. Wait, what? Does this count up forever? So I found some bug here. If you attach it, if it has 3 and wait, oh, you can't ever transform it because it's a token. So we just get tokens till the end of time, do we? I literally have never seen that interaction before. It just struck me that it's on 5. So it'll never be an anthem. But we don't really want it to be, I suppose. It could literally draw for the rest of the time off that if we get left with the creatures. Is this just who's going to deck themselves, maybe? I mean, we have another Tamiyo in our deck somewhere, so I can try not to press the wrong button on that one. We've got Elspeth somewhere as well, which tend to be our kind of game winners. Come on, Notebook, you better give me some good stuff. Yes. Thank goodness. And we can get back our power again. And then we can stop messing about. Thank God. Thank God. Okay, nice 2-0 after that harrowing first match. Alright, straight into another one here. Let's put this up here like this. There we go. Diamond 2 against Diamond 2. Yeah, I don't really like this hand. Although, odds are we'll draw a green land source or another land. It's on the cusp. I'm going to keep it. It's a bit risky. I always feel on the play like I can keep these ridiculous hands. We end up, oh my god, just top decking all of our really expensive stuff. Okay, we've got one white. Where is the green land source? Probably going to see a Liliana, are we? They missed the land drop, so they've done that. Now they're not. And then straight into Trespasser. How have we got both of these, honestly? What is going on here? This is garbage. No, we take that 7. Land and Shieldred, is it by any chance? Finish the game off now. Finish it nice and early. If we draw any land, the Wandering Emperor is a good play. I mean, obviously it has to be an untapped land to be a good play. Well, we can wipe the board of blockers now. Not now. This doesn't even have green in it. This land. They want us to block with one of these on this center. We'll block like that. Fuck it. I mean, we've got the Emperor next turn, so... yeah, let's just Emperor that now.
Protect my people.
I'll discard this because we can bring it back to Tamiyo.
My judgment is fine.
We will not attack because if they put something with 3 power in like this, then they can attack with the Bankbuster. So we need a blocker, unfortunately. And Vote Despair board wipes us. Now we can play the Warden, which is actually better. Although if they invoke Despair, we go to 1. Yeah, that's fair. That leaves us with 4. Could play these 2, get a creature from here. But I don't really need the Weatherseed Treaty, to be honest, right now. We could Tamiyo, but I quite like having that as a backup, bringing in the Emperor. I'll just use the other Warden, I think. They don't have tons of removal for something with a shield counter on it. No. Just in case, I don't know what could happen here, but I suppose maybe I should attack. Because Meat Hook is pretty fatal. It's only 1 damage. This deck tends to win by a country mile or not. But yeah, like now, if they've somehow managed to attack with 2 things, yeah, better off having it. Then we can start gaining some life with the Gala Greeters is the plan. So we've got 6. So we could do a Gala Greeters and a Wedding Announcement. And only attack with the Warden. Can't attack with the Warden. Multiple soul transfers. Yeah. Do we take that? No, in case there's Invoke Despairs or something coming. So, to get out of this, do we put this in? And Wedding Announcement, and then gain life? Put us on 7. And, yeah. And we've got some recursive life gain if we need it. recursive life gain and blockers. Hopefully they can't remove everything on the board of ours. With, for example, a Invoke Despair plus Cut Down is a very possible something that the opponent could have with 4 cards in hand, having displayed that they are running both of those things. Okay, we're being attacked. I think we can safely take that damage. Grasp on my greeters, I totally understand. But I want them back, and I have a Tamiyo with which I can do so. And I have 2 reinforcements. Hold on. Like this. God, I don't have 2 greens. 2 blues. Yeah. Oh, I can't play the reinforcements as well. Only if I play the line. Okay.
My flesh was
Never mind.
Now I am cured. Become part of the next chapter.
Finally got a Spara's headquarters. I won't attack. We'll gain some more life though. I mean, we're getting close to turning this, but all it takes is 1 meat hook and then it goes turned straight back at us. They've got 9 lands to our 7. Weatherseed Treaty, oh, for God's sake. So at least they don't gain any cards back for it. It's the one advantage of looking at that as a miserable board wipe. The one advantage I was going to say of the Weatherseed Treaty is it's quite like an unexpected bomb for them to have to deal with. That is a bitch. We need the life. Probably just the treasure. Got so much stuff we want to be playing out. And then this. No attack. I do have removal for the shoulder. I've got 2 Fateful Absences. Stop killing my bloody Gala Greeters. This is finishing us off, isn't it? Yeah. GG. Okay, so we need our stance. We need our paragons. We probably need a couple of negates. We require 1 fewer of you, 1 fewer of you, 1 fewer of you, and at least 1 fewer of you. Just ditch Ajani altogether, shall we? In fact, let's ditch that altogether. No, altogether. Ditch one of them. Because the exile is too vicious. I mean, after a bad start, it looked like we were going to turn it, but not quite. Not quite. Even more thinking from the opponent. Got an uphill battle here. Okay. Cheeky opponent with their Jay are trying to trick us. This is very keepable. It's our opponent's turn to have a bad starting hand, I think. No more underdog into Trespasser, please. That's it. Keep mulliganing. Not that I think there will be anything for us to negate just yet, but nice to have it. Nope. Put the announcement in. No attack. This is really for Invoke Despairs, isn't it? So. Nope. Okay, easy game 2. I think we'll just queue the same deck without thinking too much about it. I assume they got stuck on land or not sure what. Just saw that we got a good start. Didn't want to be on the draw. Don't blame them. Being on the draw sucks, as we are about to find out. Yep, we can keep this. Greeters into these. I mean, obviously there's so much removal for the greeters, but into 2 wedding announcements. Or maybe wedding announcement ascendancy, depending on what they do. That's the first. Interesting. Loving the gulls of the Yavimaya Coast. I'm expecting the greeters to be removed. Yeah. I would remove them also. Opponent's down to 3 cards in hand, but they have got a Bankbuster. Hearse. Interesting. So we've seen 1 meat hook already, so announcement could be the way here. So we have 3 tokens next time to put 1/1s on. Hearse does make our Sarah Paragon a little less good, it's fair to say. But have a ton of removal for it. Hopefully no Invoke Despair. No, Trespasser, we just removed the one thing out of my graveyard. Okay, we can definitely kill that. They'll power up the Bankbuster, if maybe, but then they can't tap it. Oh, they can tap it, yeah. Not mutually exclusive. Just won't attack then. End up with more tokens to put counters on. Just hope they haven't got another meat hook to hand. They need one without using the clue. Otherwise it's going to really kick off next turn. If they meat hook for 3 now, I'll be so gutted. There's 2 in the top 13. They're not scryed or anything. If they use that... Come on! What are the odds? It's just so unlucky. So unlucky. Okay, I'll probably play this in their turn, even though it costs me a counter on the thing I would put Yeah, although I don't want it to go nighttime really. Let's just put it in. If we get Invoke Despair now though, we're in serious doo-doo.
Let your blade do the talking.
Curse is having a great time. Invoke Despair would have to sack one of the festivities, and a 4/4 and the Emperor. It would be pretty vicious. Luckily these are out of meat hook range unless they land and another meat hook this turn, which anything is possible. Can't believe they found a second meat hook. Their thinking is good.
When I win, you're telling me that one of your friends has to leave.
Not another Liliana, no. Okay, reinforcements makes me happy.
May your blade strike true.
Should we kill this? Yeah. Remove my option to kill it. If you want to block. Discarding isn't my... I don't hate that with the Otawara. The Otawara though can let me bounce the hearse if it gets too big. Could even, if I was feeling wild, bounce a festivity. Could bounce the Wandering Emperor in response to an Invoke Despair. Are they thinking of crewing the hearse and blocking? Nothing in a graveyard though. No. Just taking the dead Liliana.
Knew this was a waste of time.
End our turn. Could have played this, but I think it's asking for trouble. Yep. This is a very slight number with Trespasser, isn't it, really? I mean, there's just more ways to empty graveyards, but... Okay. I don't think we'll discard that. This will have to. Interesting boarding in discard, I guess, because they're running Hearse as well. Sure, but with Liliana we don't really have cards in hand anyway. More Bankbusters. So this, yeah, I guess that thing lets you crew the hearse. So hearse is up to 6. So they can block and exile 1 card, so it'll be a 7. So shall we just plus on this and attack.
Strike fast and strike
So
hard.
they can maximum meat hook for 5, 6 next turn. Just considering whether to play the reinforcements or not this turn to put the counters on. I think not. If they're going to board wipe, it's going to be soon. I'll play it if they invoke Despair, just to give me something small to sack. Okay. Grasping that creature. guess a Tamiyo would be pretty useful here, because we could tap down the hearse forever. They're just digging for another meat hook, which I'm sure they'll get eventually. Could do one for 4 now. Okay. Hopefully they'll play their card and try and get us to discard.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch my things.
Okay. Just play this, and then sacrifice the token.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
So there's one card to exile. Oh my god, the third Bankbuster in the top 19. Okay, so might be time to start attacking with everything. They'll block the Vigilant thing. Kill it. But everything else will go through if I put a 1/1 on here. No, that won't. I can put 1/1 on there, but I want to create another Vigilant token, really. No, not yet.
We must protect the people.
So the opponent's got 8 lands, but they could draw 0 times this time. We need to trick them into powering up the hearse tapped. Exile it with Wandering Emperor. Board in something that could kill all enchantments somehow. Better off not putting something in the graveyard, aren't we? Let's sack this one. That one, and obviously that one. Yeah, make yourself discard a land.
Won't be outsmarting me.
Ugh. Okay, so we can now attack with 3 things, one of which will die. 2 4/4s, or one will trade with a Bankbuster, but we've got to trade with them at some point, haven't we? Like this. Yeah, it's enough to kill the Liliana. Since she can kill one of our creatures anyway, we may as well attack like this. Yeah, I know you can power them both up. So they could trade one and kill the other.
Nothing more.
It's not looking great, this one. But oh, fuck's sake. I better not draw a Liliana now. I've only had 2. And they'll draw 3 cards this turn. Okay, yeah, can play this out. And I'll probably play this out. Don't know if a meat hook's coming, but not this turn. No attack. We need to wait till all these are out. Bankbuster range, really. So that they can only kill one creature a turn of ours.
Distractions. Let's make this quick. Off you go.
Soul transfer is so strong when you've got the two. Oh, that's the fourth Bankbuster, isn't it? Yeah. All in the top cards. Our creatures grow by 3 each turn, but they're slowly getting whittled down in number. They're growing faster than the hearse can grow now. They've gone through 7 more cards than us, all these Bankbusters. Weird that we've only gone through 5 lands. Wow. Guess we've gone through more. They're all in here, aren't they? 1, 2, 3, 8 lands. Unfortunately means we're due some lands. Ugh.
I'm tired of your secrets.
We can nearly just power up the hearse and attack, in fairness. Okay. I think they'll just tap the hearse, now they'll power up and attack, and then we have to block and we're down to nothing. Yep, got ground out there. Good game. I think the sideboarding may have cost me a bit. The Paragon, the hearse has basically won the game, hasn't it? Because if we had this graveyard, the Paragon would be so useful. GG. Okay, just to wrap up with this one, after only 3 matches, they were all incredibly close matches and great fun, honestly. This deck has given me a new lease of life for playing this standard. I was getting a bit ground down with the constant mono black abuse, but yeah, this deck has really given me a new lease of life. It definitely needs a little bit more work. I'm thinking the Weatherseed Treaty, after playing those games, may not be the #1 inclusion. I left it in the intro just so you could see what I was playing through with these. I think I will probably remove that. I might play the Serra Angel in the main deck and swap and put some more sort of anti-black tech in the sideboard. Potentially a little bit more removal. But anyway, obviously on the video we lost 2 matches and won 1, but overall I have had a 67% win rate with this deck. That is even including those where I made one big misplay, as you saw. So actually 71% against mono black. It doesn't appear from the video, but I included those games because they were fun and interesting. Actually, this deck is performing well against black, and as you see, we're basically playing against it as much as we're playing against everything else put together. So I've had great fun playing it against black. These are the games from the video, the latest ones, 2 losses and a win, but you know, I have had other good success with this deck against, you know, black decks. So I wouldn't you know, take that as example of saying the deck is not good against black. I would say it is good against black. That is the whole reason I created this, is because I figured tokens are good against Liliana and Invoke Despair, which are the 2 main engines of that deck outside of Sheoldred, which may be where we struggle a little bit if we can't remove it quickly because we're not playing loads of removal. So maybe adding more removal, taking out the Sanctuary Wardens and the Weatherseed Treaty is the way to go. Not 100% sure. Again, Ajani, I'm still not convinced by. It's a bit hit and miss. It doesn't, you know, for something that can cost 4, and if you play 3 you lose its best ability. I'm just not convinced by it as a Planeswalker, but I'm going to persist with it a little bit, because if it can work in any deck, I think it's this one. I'm just not convinced it can work in any deck. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. I know it's a slightly different one with the best of 3 matches, which can be a bit of a grind to get through, but I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please do subscribe. Otherwise, you know, it's been brilliant watching my channel grow. I had my first 1,000 view video of the day, which thank you all for all of you who have watched that, and really helping me grow. It means a lot. Bye for now.